As a public defender, Judge Karen fought for her clients' rights. She was elected to the bench because she believes in doing the right thing.
I'm very passionate about helping people, period. Sometimes life pulls you from up here to down here to teach you a lesson. And you're in a valley right now. And there are lessons in this valley. I hope you learn from them.
Objective, independent justice.
You can always turn your life around. If you keep walking, you can overcome whatever circumstances you're facing.
This is Supreme Justice with Judge Karen. Brooke Lynn McCall is suing business owner Nicholas Todd in the amount of $1,620. Ms. McCall claims the mobile app she used for work prevented her from doing her job, and as a result, she was fired. Mr. Todd claims he received several complaints from customers about the plaintiff, which led her to being dismissed.
All right, Ms. McCall, you're suing Mr. Todd for $1,620 in unpaid wages?
Yes, and for a discriminatory firing.
And what kind of business is this that you have, sir?
This is a food delivery app business, Cheesy Chariot Food Delivery.
Oh, okay, like Grubhub or one of those kind of places?
Yeah, a lot like that, but
All
we're
right.
small, 15 employees and growing.
Okay, so
We're gonna
you can
branch
order
out.
food from different restaurants and you guys
Yep.
deliver it? Okay.
In conjunction with the restaurants, correct.
Okay, how long have you had your business?
Roughly 3 years.
Oh, okay, and ma'am, how long did you work there?
I've worked there. I've been involved since the beginning of the company. I
Right.
helped design the app. I gave a lot of information into the design and how the app should
Your
work.
Honor, I've known her since she was a child,
Oh,
all
yeah.
her life. I grew up
Okay,
with
so
her
we were
older brother.
friends.
Yeah, this is
yeah.
my brother's best friend, my older brother's best
Oh,
friend.
okay,
Yeah.
and now we end up in court over $1,620?
I was blindsided.
It was just a number of things. You
So
know,
what happened?
So I was a driver for them. I'm going to school. I'm driving for them part-time.
Okay.
And
What are you studying in school?
I'm just studying computer science and technology.
Okay.
So I'm learning how to develop apps myself. Again, I contributed to developing the app in the first place.
Okay, so you have a technical background?
Yes, I have a technical
Okay.
background, and I couldn't commit to full-time, so I was just a driver for the service.
Okay, so did she do a good job developing an app for your company?
Well, she contributed to the idea of the app. I mean, it's all Japanese for me. I went to school for business and finance.
Okay. She didn't really develop it.
No,
She was,
but
yeah,
she
she
threw the
gave her
ideas,
input.
and then I threw the money behind it,
Okay.
and then
But it's, the
outsourced
look
the
of
app
it is
technology.
completely due to me. How it interacts with the customers is due to
Okay.
me. I've had a lot of influence. That was
Okay.
unpaid and just
All
something
right,
I
well,
did
you
as a
seem to
friend.
have some hostility now.
I do, because it was run so poorly. So I ended
What,
up
the
being,
business?
The business.
How poorly was it run?
Well, I was having problems because I'm trying to do deliveries and the app wouldn't work. The app would tell me I can't find the address, I
Right.
can't find the customer's information.
Oh, my.
I would have these problems, and I was also the only woman that was a
Well,
driver with the
let me
company.
just ask this question. When an app doesn't work, don't you have to talk to the people who
Yeah,
developed
we
it?
talked to technical support.
Yeah.
We
Right.
determined it had to be in her smartphone. You have to update the software, Your Honor, in
Oh.
order for it to work properly.
Oh,
that
so,
was
but
not-
wait. But this is your company
Correct.
that's on the line. If I got somebody working for me and delivering food, because I'm not going to be happy if my food comes to me cold.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm going to say, did you update your app? Did you update your app?
She
Was
said
the
she
update
did,
in
but she
your
was
app?
still having problems. We
I-
couldn't determine any problems specifically with one employee.
So none of the other drivers were having
We
problems?
had a
did
couple
have
other issues,
problems.
but then it was determined it was their smartphone.
Okay, but it wasn't her smartphone.
I have
We believe
documents
it
of the
is.
emails that I sent to technical support. There were
Okay.
multiple issues. They never once told me anything about my smartphone.
Okay.
And I am in this business. I always update my smartphone.
Right.
I always update my information.
Right, she's a technical person. I have to believe
I
she
know.
does update.
No, I'm not.
So why are we here?
So we're here because then I was fired. I was fired out of the blue because there were a couple of reports of late deliveries.
Right.
Which is true because I couldn't get the app to work. No
But
matter
I can't believe you say you've known this girl since she was a child,
Yeah.
and a couple of late deliveries, and you
It's
fire
more than
her?
a couple, Your Honor.
What
I actually
happened?
have evidence. I mean, hey, she's a childhood friend. I've known her my whole life.
Right.
The issue didn't happen until I hired my ex-girlfriend Lisa
Yeah.
on as an employee for the company.
Right. And so what does Lisa have to do with her?
That's what I'm wondering, because
No,
all of a
but
sudden...
you're making a connection that things changed when Lisa came
Because
on. Do
her
you know,
exactly
do you know
productivity
Lisa?
went
Do
down.
you know
Yes,
Lisa?
I know Lisa.
Do you like Lisa?
Lisa's a fine person.
You get along with her?
I get along with
Never
her
had a
fine.
fight with her?
No, I didn't fight with
Okay,
Lisa.
so what's the deal with Lisa?
Constantly thinking that I'm keeping my way from the business or responding to any complaints that she has because she thinks I'm spending all my time with Lisa. She's one of the employees. In fact, I'm not even with her anymore, and
Right.
she still works for the company.
Who, Lisa?
Lisa, correct.
Okay, so what do you say? There's a romantic interest on her part?
I feel like possibly a
This
romantic
has nothing
interest.
to do with a
Wait,
romantic.
wait,
Yes.
it has nothing. You never liked him?
We had a few dates in,
Okay,
in a
so
few
now
years
we
ago.
had
They
some
weren't
dates.
dates.
It's
They
like
were coffee.
pulling
They were
teeth.
coffee.
coming up on Supreme Justice.
And maybe you misread him. And
might-
maybe he was using you for knowledge.
And later,
So do you have some sort of rule in the complex about picking up after your pet?
Yes, we do, Your Honor.
And
And
do you do
I'm
that?
very, yes, I'm very diligent
My neighbor
about it.
says it's called bend and pretend. Do you really pick up after your pet?
Supreme Justice is back with the case of Brooklyn McCall, who is suing business owner Nicholas Todd for $1,620.
Okay, so who invited who for coffee?
I
did.
invited her out because
Right.
you know, she's going to school for computer science as
Right.
well. I've got this amazing idea
So
for
you
this
didn't
delivery
have any
service.
romantic interest in her?
None whatsoever.
didn't
She
seem
was
like
like
how
a
it
little
was at the
sister to
time.
me.
So-
I grew up with her brother Justin.
Once you were invited out for coffee and he's asking your opinion about his new business and what direction, did you think like maybe that meant that you were important to him and your opinion was important to him?
Yeah, I thought my opinion was very important to him. And I think this app is together and where it is today because of what I've done for the company.
Right. And it's you said, you know, we started this. That's
Yeah.
what you said in the beginning.
Yes,
so
we
it
did.
sounds to me like maybe you were thinking it was like a we thing.
Yeah, I thought that this is something we could grow together as a business. I thought that when I would get out of school, I would have more
Did you have a
knowledge.
boyfriend at the time?
No, I didn't have a boyfriend at the
No,
time.
but due to college
excuse
constraints,
me,
she was going to school.
Excuse me.
I apologize.
Did you think there would be a possibility that
Yeah, at the time I did think that was a possibility. It didn't
Right.
work out that way.
Was he leading you on?
He seemed like he liked me and
Right.
wanted to go out just with me. I don't have a lot of guys who just ask me personally to go
Right,
out with them
right.
multiple times.
How many
just for
times did he
fun.
ask you to go out?
It was about 4 times.
And each time was it for coffee or was it sometimes
Coffee,
for dinner?
and one time it was for drinks.
For drinks too? Did he ever take you to the movies?
No, we didn't go.
Usually you
to
got to go to a movie or a show, really, for it to be a real date.
I guess
You
so.
know, because kind of coffee and drinks could
I
be
know.
with a friend. Yeah, maybe you misread him. And
might-
maybe he was using you for knowledge.
That's possible because I was not paid for any of that information that they're still using today.
Right, but you did a lot of this because you were hoping that things would kind of pick up.
Well, mostly I thought just we could build something together.
And
That's
yeah, not
why
just a
it's most
business,
important.
but a relationship, something
Possibly
big.
something
the
possibly
whole
relationship.
shebang.
Yes.
But you obviously had some notion that she liked you.
I didn't sense that from her because I've known her my whole life, and
Okay,
she's
then,
like a kid
well,
sister.
then Betsy came along with the good hair.
Then Lisa came along, and then all of a sudden it was like a cat fight. And
Right.
No, it was
Oh,
not
it was
a
a
cat.
cat
No,
fight?
it was
Well,
not a
it
cat
just felt
fight.
like it behind the
No.
scenes because
No.
oh, you're always out with Lisa. You're always out with Lisa.
Oh,
my
were you
God.
texting
No,
him
I was not
saying
texting
that?
him. You're always out with Lisa. As soon as he started going out with Lisa,
Right.
he wouldn't return any of my calls, which were just about the business. That's why he didn't know
Veiled
about my
underneath
technical
the quote
problems.
unquote
Right.
app
That's-
failure.
Right.
Yeah, I did want to fix the app failure because I wanted to be able to do my job.
Right.
And then I couldn't get a hold of him, couldn't
Right.
do anything, and all the ideas that were so,
Wonderful
good for him to hear
and
were
everything.
now
he
gone.
didn't care because he had, what's her name?
Lisa.
And my shifts were diminished and changed to
Right,
worse
so he
hours.
just slowly kind of let you go.
Yes. And then I was...
Was there a contract?
Yeah, there was, and
Okay.
I gave her a 30-day warning.
Okay.
And in
Yeah.
those 30 days,
Right.
she progressively declined even worse.
Let me ask you, did you bring the contract? I know you
did.
brought a
I
contract.
went-
Okay, so did he follow through with the contract? I mean, because you're in an at-will state, basically. Unless there's something in a contract that gives you more rights than a normal employee in your state, that basically can be let go for anything.
Well, this was also just being the only girl working there was
Right.
uncomfortable and strange. I would get different hours, different priorities for shifts than
Right.
everybody else did.
Right.
And then also being pushed away because a girlfriend is hired
Right.
feels discriminatory to me.
Right.
And I was given 30 days warning, but
Right.
I told every single time I have the evidence of when I complained to technical
Right.
support,
Exactly.
which is the reason for all of those latenesses. So
Right.
then when I was fired, I didn't assume I would be fired for something going wrong that had no control
But
over me.
this is an at-will state where you live, and
Yes.
he basically did you a favor by giving you the 30 days notice.
I gave her several favors.
And not
The
only
times
that,
the app failed,
the thing
I had
is,
to-
he had Lisa.
I
You
know.
once Lisa
Well, he
came
doesn't
in,
have her anymore.
yeah, I understand. Oh, Lisa's gone.
No, and Lisa still works for me,
Right,
but
but
we're
not
no
dating
longer
relationship?
romantically involved.
Right. Well,
because
aren't you happy? At least that didn't work out.
I've
You
learned
know
you
what,
can't.
I can at least take solace in that.
Right.
Yeah.
So now we know that maybe we misread each other's cues
Yeah.
about, what his intentions were. And What's going to happen to your relationship?
I would love to just go back to being able to be friendly, or possibly, you know, I wanted to work for this company later on in its development.
Right.
At this point, I feel like that development isn't going to happen.
Right.
Your
The
Honor, that's why
leadership
we
isn't
brought her in.
there.
Right.
As an
Well, are
employee.
you willing to give her a positive reference?
I-
When folks call to say nothing but positive, wonderful things about Brooke? Are you willing to say that under oath?
I am
that
willing.
you're not going to say anything negative, and you'll talk about what a great employee she
I would
was
be-
with great ideas?
I would be willing to be honest and forthright with any employer that was wanting to
Well, that just
contact
means
me.
you're going to tell
I've
them the
known
wrong-
her since she was a girl, and now you're sounding like a businessman.
Yeah.
Well,
There's
this is
no
my
way.
business we're talking
Yeah, I
about. I've
understand.
sunk my entire
I
life.
understand, but we're saying she's moving on with her life. All she's saying is, don't blackball me.
Yeah.
And I would love to be
Or
paid for
give me
3
then-
weeks. That's all I'm looking for, is for 3 weeks wages, because I am in school.
Are you
I'm
willing to give her
part-time.
3 weeks? Because it seems like you wouldn't have gotten up and started without her.
If she
Yeah.
can be willing to compensate me for my lost wages
I
for
guess
fulfilling...
that's no. That's a no.
Yeah.
I don't
you want
think
me
it's
to
going
give
to
you
happen.
$40 for 2 sandwiches that
You
Oh,
know,
got
or
delivered
the hours
late?
that I've had to get out
Mr.
of
Todd,
bed and
you
pick
know,
up
I
your
think
slack.
you two like each other.
I don't.
I think there's something going on here. I don't really. You want to
think
go out
that
for
is-
coffee today?
No, not
Drink.
today.
I could use a coffee, Your Honor.
I'm ready to roll. He doesn't owe you the lost wages. He followed the rules of the contract, and he gave you the 30 days. And sometimes when people show you who they are, like Oprah says, believe them. So I hope you find something, a better job, working for a better business, and you find a better man, because he wasn't going to be a good husband. All right? Judgment for the defendant. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
All rise.
Judge Karen has ruled in favor of the defendant. The plaintiff's claim has been dismissed.
I'm really sorry that things didn't work out. I wish you the best going forward.
You need to treat your employees better, and you need to get that app fixed.
Coming up,
This shoes like it's stained all across the side, all across both sides, and the back.
It was a huge poop.
fashionista Georgina Smalls is suing dog owner Dylan Mavick in the amount of $800. Ms. Smalls claims her designer shoes were ruined after Mr. Mavick failed to clean up after his dog. Mr. Mavick claims Ms. Smalls has no proof his dog is to blame and says he shouldn't be held responsible.
Ms. Smalls, you are suing Mr. Mavick for $800 for property damage?
Yes.
Is that right?
That's correct.
All right, this has something to do with your designer shoes.
Correct.
And what's your relationship to this defendant?
He lives above me in the apartment complex.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
you guys are neighbors?
Yes.
Did you know each other before this incident?
Vaguely.
Yeah.
We pass each other, say hi.
Okay, but
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah.
All right, so what happened with the shoes?
I was on my way to work. I had a very important presentation. And
What do
I
you
was-
do for a living?
I work in an accountant firm.
Okay.
But I was on my way to work. I had a big presentation, and I was wearing my lucky shoes,
Right.
as you do.
All
And
right.
I was very nervous. And as I was walking out, I stepped in dog poop.
Where
That
was this dog poop?
Just in the courtyard of our apartment complex.
Okay.
And I've seen his dog several times running around the apartment complex without a leash.
Right.
And I know it's his dog. So
Well, how many people live in the complex?
about 30.
Okay, well, other folks must have dogs.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, but
Did you
I-
see his dog poop?
Yes, I saw his dog poop earlier that morning.
Right.
And I
so-
thought that he would pick it up, but then he
Right.
didn't, and I was just on my way out to work.
Right. Well, you had seen it earlier that morning, though.
Right, but
And you
I
had on the lucky shoes.
but I didn't expect it to be lying there.
Coming up,
This shoes like it's stained all across the side, all across both sides, and the back.
It was a huge poop.
Supreme Justice is back with the case of Georgina Smalls, who is suing Dylan Mavick for property damage.
Did you actually see his dog relieve itself?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
All right. So do you have some sort of rule in the complex about picking up after your pet?
Yes, we do, Your Honor. And
Do
I'm,
you do
I'm
that?
very, yes, I'm very diligent
My neighbor
about it.
says it's called bend and pretend. Do you really pick up after your pet?
Every time I pick up after my dog and I put it in the receptacle,
Right.
there's new bags right there.
What happened with the shoes? You stepped in it.
So I stepped in the poop and I went to work, and now I just feel super insecure. And
Right. Well, did
the
you have them
presentation.
cleaned after that?
I did take them to the cleaners, but
Right.
they could only do so much.
Right.
And
So
I,
are they still stained or are they
yes,
okay now?
They're still stained, which is why I'd like my
Well,
money back.
And what's your position? Why do you think you're not responsible for her shoes?
Well, she has no evidence that it actually was my dog.
What
Your
if she
Honor.
did have evidence that it were your dog? Do you think you would be responsible for her shoes?
Yeah, if it was my dog, I would be responsible. But,
Right.
you
It
know, she's
was
painting
your
a
dog.
completely wrong picture,
Right.
Your Honor.
My problem with the case is that you said you saw it.
Yes.
You said you saw it. So when you went back outside, you should have remembered you saw it.
But as a dog owner, I feel
Right.
like he, with all due respect, Your Honor, I feel like he should have, as a dog owner,
Right.
not been negligent and been
Right.
respectful to the tenants and
Exactly.
picked up the dog poop.
Right. I understand
And-
what you're saying, but you know what? I mean, I've stepped in it. We all have some time. I know it's my neighbors too.
Sure.
But I just couldn't imagine bringing a lawsuit about stepping in something in a public place.
Sure. But
it
it's
was a
more,
public place.
It was more than just
when
the
you
money.
are walking around in a public place, you're supposed to be paying attention. You could have. What if the kid upstairs dropped some gum on the walkway and you stepped into a big wad of bubble gum? I mean, should they be responsible for that?
Judge Karen's verdict when Supreme Justice returns.
It's what happens in a public place. Somebody, threw out curry chicken in the public walkway and you walked through it and it turned your shoes orange. I mean, you think they should be responsible for that too? I mean, where does it end?
I mean, I just feel like there's benefit
If
of.
I were in my lucky shoes, I would have been watching every step of the way. Let me see it through the bag, how bad they look.
This is more than just money. It's about principle and also.
No, it's about money. It's about money. It's about $800 shoes. Are these suede shoes?
Yes. But Your Honor, these were a gift
And
from
let
my
me just
father.
ask this question. Wait, now that I'm looking at the shoe. This shoe looks like it's stained all across the side, all across both sides, and the back.
It was a huge poop.
All the more reason that you should have seen that.
I was on the phone with my colleague. After I did this
So
presentation,
now you were
everyone
on
noticed.
the phone with somebody.
Yes.
And so you weren't paying attention.
But I was preparing for this presentation.
Now, I understand that. You could have gone upstairs and put on another pair of shoes. That's what I would have done. There's no way I would have kept walking with those shoes. They would.
I mean, I didn't
I
think
would have
that-
walked past the garbage can and thrown those shoes in the garbage can. That would have been it for me. But you could have at least gone back upstairs and said, "Let me see what's my next luckiest pair of shoes."
Your Honor, I am a responsible dog owner, despite what she says.
Right. Do
I've
you
got-
want to offer us some money for these shoes?
No, I haven't.
Okay, well then you got nothing to say. Judgment for the defendant. Good luck to you.
All rise.
Judge Karen has ruled in favor of the defendant. The plaintiff's claim has been dismissed.
Shame on you for not picking up after your pet. Everyone in the building knows it's you.
Well, maybe if you just watch where you're walking, this wouldn't happen.